Okay, good morning. I'm not hearing anybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
There you go. This session is titled How to Interpret for People with Deafblindness. And this is Maddie, I'm saying that right? Maddie Mueller. And she's the head of Rehabilitation Unit, Specialist Advice Center for Deafblindness at SNAB, which is the Swiss National Association of and for the Blind. Since 2007, rehabilitation teacher for people with acquired deafblindness, hearing, and visual impairment. Since 2010, responsible for the rehabilitation team all over Switzerland and delegate for the International Network of DBI. She specializes in communication, low vision, orientation, and mobility, and she's also working in different languages, German, sign language, French, English, for evaluation, training, workshops, and for voluntary workers and professionals. Please welcome this morning's speaker.
I'm happy to welcome you all to the workshop How to Interpret for People with Deafblindness. It's not only me running this workshop, but only I could be present here. There is also Beat Marchetti on a video and Michel Berger in the video as well. I already have to apologize that we have to switch between the PowerPoint and the videos because of the subtitles. Is anyone here who needs that I read loudly the subtitles during the videos? Please raise your hand. There are subtitles. Can you read the subtitles? Okay. So I don't have to read the subtitles, but I have to stop somewhere because it's too fast otherwise. Okay. Before I introduce myself, a brief introduction to SNAP. Blind, UCBA, Uchibichi, in all our languages of our advice centers. We work under an umbrella organization with the name SNAP, Swiss National Association of and for the Blind. We run 7 advice centers for people with acquired deafblindness. And I have to. No.
Try it
Again? Okay. No? Oh, now. I tried to compare Canada and Switzerland. I cut it out Switzerland and could put into the map between Toronto and Quebec. The population of Canada is around 38 people. It is a number from 2021. That means 4 people in 1 square kilometer. Whereas in Switzerland we have a population of between 8 and 9 million people. That means 215 people in 1 square kilometer. I can hear and see you smiling. And so, at our work, we think we travel a lot. Yes, you can't compare, and the size is different, the rules and the government rules are different. So, but we have, despite of the size, we have 3 languages in every other language speaking part. We have 4 spoken languages, so German, Italian, French, and Romansh. And the first three languages, German, Italian, and French, has their own sign languages. So you can imagine it's a challenge for a small country. And please, could you stand up and raise your hand? Tina, my colleague from Switzerland as well, she works at the Advice Center. We have 7 advice centers, 5 in the German-speaking part, 1 in the French-speaking part, and 1 in the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland. Who is working there? Rehabilitation teachers, social workers. We run courses for education and leisure for concerned people, and in the competence center, which Tina is the head of, we care about voluntary workers and communication assistants. I don't have to introduce myself. Thank you. You did it very well. So my specialization is about communication, low vision orientation, and mobility. I'm responsible for the team of the rehabilitation and also Deafblind International Network. Therefore, I could come here. My sign name is 2 times an M. I'm Madame Müller. I was introduced that I should tell more about me. I'm a 53 years old woman, nearly 170 centimeters. I have light skin and hair until the shoulder. You have introduced a lot, so I can speak German, French at work, and I directly communicate in sign language, tactile sign language. There was the reason why I'm involved very often in settings with interpreters at the doctors or with other rehabilitation teachers like Braille teachers. So let us introduce Beat Marchetti. Now we change to the first video. Yep. This is... Oh dear, I forgot. That was me. The next slide would be Beat. I can't do that. So let me see, where is Beat? So we have to open every video. Okay. Can you shortly stop and just ask again, everybody is able to read it, otherwise I could read it loudly. Can we start again? Yeah, they had to change the seats. So this is Beat Marchetti. Thank you. Was it okay like that? If not, please raise your hand. The last bit was too fast. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh. Thank you. So now, how about you? Please raise your hand. Some of you may have a lot to do now, but I'm curious to know more about your experience. Who communicates in sign language, please? Okay. Who communicates in visual frame sign language? Visual frame is in a smaller frame. If someone has a tunnel vision, you have to sign around your face. Visual frame. Thank you. Who communicates with tracking? Less and less. Now I'm very curious. Who communicates in tactile sign language? Ah, even more. Let me take a picture. I'm pretty sure Beat will ask me. So, how to interpret for deafblind people? It's really a big difference, as some of you already experience. And the picture shows a woman communicates in tactile sign language with an interpreter. Her hands lie on his hands.
No picture.
Oops, no picture. I was sleeping, sorry. A woman communicates in tactile sign language with an interpreter. Her hands lie on his hands. She wears filter glasses and a cap. Both wear plain black clothes. The woman wears a scarf with orange, pink, violet colors. She loves colors. Yes, communication in tactile sign is more than just signing what deaf people can't hear. I also have to sign about the environment. For example, how many people are here, if you're smiling or bored, can explain the landscape or what's available on a buffet. And for interpreters, it's important that they also describe the mouth, face, parts of the signs, finger spelling to identify. Beat will explain some examples how to distinguish signs. And if necessary, you have to explain the context supplement with background information. That means it takes much longer time than signing for visual signs or interpreting. I put there some drawings, hand shapes for words or letters like good or S and B. And yeah, thank you. And just a personal experience. I was on a trekking in Ladakh, north of India, last summer, and I came back with a broken tendon on my right thumb. I was really handicapped in communication, a splint for 3 months. Normally I'm signing directly with tactile sign language and visual frame and sign language with my clients or colleagues at work. I was dependent on interpreters. It was a hard time. And still there is my E. Some spelling is not like before, but it's okay. So next is Beat. I will come to you because we have to stop at several points because the subtitles are too fast. I will come to the back. So now it's up to you. You can try out yourself in pairs. If you don't use sign language, at least try to sign some numbers. Please try in pairs where you're just sitting next to. You can sign anything. You try also the difference, tactile signing while sitting, tactile signing while standing. Michelle will explain more about, but just that you can move and try 1-2 minutes, okay? Try the difference signing tactile when you're standing. Do you feel the difference? Thank you. Thank you so much. If you're signing with someone, please, could you sign? Please sit down and we can listen again. Try. All around proximity and distance, I could talk another hours. This was also subject in the further education for the sign interpreters. We exchanged about a lot. So let us listen and to Michelle. She is signing and there are subtitles as well. We give some time the technique to change to the video. As Michel mentioned, it's more and more important that you're wearing the right clothes. Even if you're not interpreter, I'm signing directly with my clients or with my colleague Beat. Summer and winter, a tool in my backpack. And 4 years ago, I discovered in Australia the very comfortable signing table. Are you from Australia?
No, but I was there and I saw it.
You saw it as well? Yeah. Now we have 3 signing tables in Switzerland. We use it very often. And for me, it's incredible. I met Beat 15 years ago. We have the same age, and his vision became really bad, I can say. We signed in the distance like Tina and me now, in 3 meters. As a low vision, in a low vision evaluation, I don't measure only the things which are useful for reading. I also measure the frame in the distance which is the best for clients to sign. And so it was very interesting to give this further education together with Beat, nothing about me with me, and with Michel. And at the last page, I will explain you the challenges we discussed with the interpreters as well were the challenge of time and misunderstandings. And so we had once a director who told me right at the beginning, generally at your work with deaf-blind people, you can compare it to football. And so I compare it to sign language. In tactile sign language, we play like in a higher league. And often several people are involved in a conversation. The picture shows, it's an old picture, I had short hair. The picture shows a very complicated situation where a client has to learn about the braille, electronic braille connecting with a mobile phone. She used visually, she had in her head what she saw before on the screen. She really considered where are the applications, where to touch. Then she had to learn, adapt the small braille, electronic braille tool to connect with the iPhone, the smartphone, not only at the computer. At her right hand is the teacher. He is blind himself, Pietro. He's amazing. He's braille teacher and teacher for braille, electronic braille tools connected with smartphones. And in front of her is a sign language interpreter signing tactile wise. One hand is listening what the interpreter telling her. With the right hand she is touching the electronic braille tool, and she didn't get it. She didn't get. In one moment I had the idea, I have to ask her, may I touch you on your back to give you an orientation where you are on your smartphone? Because when you use the braille, electronic braille, then you use it in another way around. So it's like you swipe from one to the next application. And all together we were a great team. But it took us a while to understand where she is, what she's thinking, why she didn't get further on. So the role and the task of an interpreter must be adapted to the case of tactile signs. And as a mixed team, we really have to be a good team and not a concurrence. We have to work together. We have to try and find out where the other part we have to connect. So there are 2 minutes left for questions. 5. Are there any questions?
So, my name is Daniel, and I'm here with my colleague Suzanne, and we work for the Deafblind program in Montreal. And we have a lot of patients who have Usher, and Suzanne is a coda, and she signs with them a lot. And initially, at the beginning of with the Usher syndrome, the distance is a little bit further, but as it progresses, it becomes closer and closer and closer.
Yeah.
And Suzanne mentioned that when they start signing in tactile, it's very, it's a big confrontation. It's a big confrontation because it's a big shock to the person because it's so close and so it's kind of in their bubble. And we wanted to know how you adapt that and how you incorporate that into signing tactile.
When I remember how I signed with Beat, he's a professional. It's quite a difference between Beat and clients. They have not such an experience and are not involved like him his sign language is a high level, and others they are not signing in that high level. They refuse the cane, they refuse braille, they refuse tactile signs very often. I think we have to be patient until they are ready. They are ready to adapt it. But we also have to be ready how to use it. And years ago, when I exchanged with Beat the first time, we couldn't think about how it will be when he really needs it. We are like behind. Every time we are behind. It's our fault, it's our pity, but at the end we have to be patient until they really are ready to, and when they are open to include the haptic signs, it can help, but in my experience, more the hard of hearing people they are speaking, they are more open to the haptic signs than the signing. People they use sign language, they can adapt a lot with tactile signing. So I think it's also the relationship. With me, sometimes they do things they don't do with other people, or the opposite. But I don't know if it's an answer to your question now.
I have a follow-up question.
A following question?
So I work a lot with children. I'm a speech pathologist in emerging communication, and my personal reflection is to kind of be preemptive in what type of communication is going to be needed. And so I guess my question is, in a situation like that with someone who has Usher, would you introduce some of the skills or some of the strategies used beforehand to help them become a little bit more comfortable with the techniques that will be used later on, depending on the progression of their vision, in order to help bridge the gap and make it less confrontational?
I think it would be nice to be exchanged afterwards, but I can say, I must say, every time when I experience something new, I try to hand it over as a sensibilization as well for the professionals they see and hear very well. Because as long as they don't know how it feels like, they are not aware about they think, oh, it's no problem, I'm a professional, we can do that. But being concerned, even if it's only 10 minutes, with the simulation of the sight and the hearing, it gives much more than you can explain with 100 words. Yeah.
Ryan here. I have two comments related to what we were discussing with the white cane. Many people feel a little awkward about using a white cane, so it's related to the last comment. You know, if a person has their own reasons why they don't want to use a white cane, to identify, my experience before, I didn't want to use it because it clearly identified two people that I needed it, that I can see. I'm deaf though, I'm deafblind, so I want to identify myself as that. And I want people to see that, but I know that transitioning to using a white cane can be a little bit challenging, and some people aren't readily willing to be able to use it as a form of identification. My other question was, I'm wondering, do you provide training specifically for interpreters who work with deafblind folks, and how do you set up some kind of a training like that? Like, what was a process for providing training specifically for interpreters who are working with deafblind people? Because we're interested in setting up some training we have interpreter training programs in Canada, but not really specifically for deafblind, interpreting for deafblind. So there is a little bit of training out there for support, intervening, and also interpreting, but specifically interpreting for deafblind. I'm just curious if that's what you do and what your experience was. And, there aren't that many deafblind people here, and if we provide that training, hopefully we'd have also more supports out there. So where do you start in setting up that training to have interpreters ready for deafblind?
Just short answer, because we're running out of time. So the second question, it was the subject I was talking about, the training we did for the interpreters. And I suggest the clients that when they ask for interpreters, that they explain what they need, they can add the names. If they know interpreters, they understand each other very well. Or minimum, they write, I need a visual frame, I need tactile signs, so the interpreters shouldn't take this task if they are not able to. And the other things I think we can...
Training for, not about preferences, but training to train, how to set up a training program itself. Like, how did you...
I think we could discuss afterwards individually.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that...
Yep.
I'd like to thank you for coming and staying in contact afterwards. I will hand over that to Beat and Michelle as well. Thankful.
I think you all agree this was a wonderful, wonderful session, very educational, very informative. Would you agree? Yes? So, Maddie, we have a small token for your presence here and your presentation. Thank you so much.